Okay, so this video is about how to set up your Oculus Quest in wireless VR. It's quite important, particularly since Microsoft is about to kill off the HP Reverb G2. Okay, so there are a number of different ways to set this up. You can set it up through Steam VR. You can set it up through the Quest Link. I've found through trial and experience that virtual desktop, there is a small charge for virtual desktop, is by far the most stable and most straightforward way to set this up. So that's what I'm going to go through today. I'm just going to go through the high level settings so you can get up and running really quickly, but there's quite a lot of individual settings that you can play around with. You can't break it, so you can really tweak it to your heart's consent. And there's a mode that you can trigger that shows the frames per second and the performance in virtual desktop. And also, if you look at my other video, you can turn on developer mode, which gives you more granular detail about the frames per second in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So in the Meta desktop app, find the Oculus Meta Quest 3 and just tab down to the graphics settings. Depending on how big your graphics card is, you'll be able to get away with higher resolutions. This will give you the choices. I mean, my recommendation is you leave the resolution at automatic. You can set that manually. 72 Hz is recommended. You can choose 80, 90 or 120. Each of them have a hit on the size of the resolution. I mean, I personally recommend, if you've got a decent graphics card, that 80 is the sweet spot. And as you come out of that, or as you go in, it'll recommend that you set the runtime to the OpenXR runtime, and you should do that to get the best out of the graphics. Then we need to download the virtual desktop streamer companion app, install it. It's really straightforward. And then when you open the streamer app, you have a few choices. There is an automatic choice for a codec, but if we're using the Quest 3, there's a dedicated AV1 10-bit codec, and I'd also recommend the virtual desktop OpenXR runtime. There is, you can change the field of view, and I have seen on some videos people have got some good results, and or boost game priority. My personal advice is you leave that alone. It didn't seem to make a lot of difference to me, and if you do struggle with the VDXR codec, you can go back and reset that to automatic. And then you'll need to check the account, because you're going to need that account when you set up the virtual desktop on the Oculus Quest 3. And finally, I would recommend unticking adjust the bitrate automatically. For me, that gave me many more options. So now in the Quest 3, we want to download virtual desktop. If it shows no computer found, then you want to need to put in your account code we spoke about earlier. And just look at the top. You really need a Wi-Fi 6 dedicated router for this. I upgraded mine to Wi-Fi 7, and I've just done a separate video if you check that out. The main settings we're going to look at is streaming. So depending on your graphics card, you can set the streaming quality, really ultra or godlike if your graphics card is strong enough. Select the frames per second we selected in the device settings, in this case 80. VR bitrate, I would say about 100 to 120 if your graphics card can get away with it, and sharpening around 75. Synchronous space warp intersperses frames, particularly where you've got a slower computer. I found that works quite well in automatic, but I tend to leave it disabled as it make it a bit makes it a bit jumpy. And I personally don't like the Snapdragon Game Super Resolution. I think that it makes it a bit jerky. And then the bottom one here, you can show an in-game overlay for performance, which will give you a feel for the frames per second that you're getting. And here's what the performance panel looks like in VR. You really want to be looking a minimum, I would say, of 40 frames per second in VR, and that'll give you a relatively smooth performance. Okay, I hope that was useful. That's all I've got for you in this video. If you liked it, please like it. Let me have any comments if you've got any thoughts or views, and subscribe if you want to be notified when other videos are uploaded, and I'll catch you next time.